Come, let us be glad and rejoice. Let us sing. Awake, friends, with a joyful heart.
Shabbat Shalom, and if you do have your candles and you haven't yet lit them at home, if you're nearby, maybe you've already lit them before dinner, but if you haven't, then do join us in lighting the Shabbat candles.
That's not going to work.
That's not going to happen. I was like, wish to match some luck, but no. Wasn't going to be. There we are. When the chemist can't get fire. We say the blessing together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You sanctify us by your commandments and enjoin us to kindle the Sabbath lights.
Happy is the people by whom the Sabbath is sanctified. Happy are those who rejoice in its blessing, for it comes with a message of God's abiding love, as one who brings good tidings and publishes peace.
Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol hakol Elohi, asher biado mechre haaretz toafot ariah lo. Asher lo ha'am hu asahu, vayebesh et yadav v'ysaru, bohu nishtachave v'nichra'a, nivracha lifnei Adonai oseinu. Ki hu Eloheinu v'anachnu amarito v'tzon yado hayom im b'kolo tishmahu.
Sing a new song to the Eternal One.
Sing to your Creator, all the earth.
Sing to the Eternal One, praise God's name.
Proclaim God's salvation from day to day.
Declare God's glory among the nations.
God's wonders among all the peoples.
For great is the Eternal One and greatly to be praised.
To be revered above all other gods.
For all of them are mere idols.
But the Eternal One made the heavens.
Honor and majesty are in God's presence.
Strength and beauty in God's sanctuary.
Acclaim the Eternal One, all races and peoples.
Acknowledge God's glory and might.
Worship the Eternal One in the beauty of holiness.
Tremble in God's presence, all the earth.
Declare among the nations, God reigns. The world stands firm.
God judges the peoples with justice.
Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice.
Let the sea and all that fill it roar out praise.
Let the field exult and all that is in it.
Let the trees of the forest shout for joy before God, who comes to rule the earth.
To rule the world with righteousness.
And the peoples with truth.
Lahadodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השביענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבתי לה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בורא קומי אורי. אורי אורי שידברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצוך עולה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise. Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch
Adonai Hamvorach, leolam vaed. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due.
We praise the Eternal One,
to whom our praise is due forever. Please be seated. And we continue together. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness, and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall. And we continue. Unending love you have shown your people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts have you taught us. When we lie down and when we rise up, we will reflect on the meaning of your laws and rejoice in the words of your Torah and in your mitzvot forever. On them we will meditate day and night, for they are our life and the length of our days. May your love never depart from us. We praise you, O God. You love your people Israel. Please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kavod Machoto Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem
Kavod Machoto
Le'olam
Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol ma'odecha והיו הדברים האלה, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
למה תזכרו, ועשיתם מכל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם.
Please be seated. Emet ve'emunah kol zot. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors, delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule, and then, full of joy, we sang together.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך, והגן בעדנו, והזה מעלינו אויב הבל, וחרב רעב ויגון, והרחק ממנו עוון ופשע, ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו, כי אל שומרנו ומצילנו אתה, כי אל מלך חנון ורחום אתה, ושמו צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם.
ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל. Please rise. אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה.
האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזה ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, וחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. You are holy, awesome is your name. We have no God but you. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. Feel free to be seated. Shamro b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. And together we read, Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, Eternal One, for the holiness of the Sabbath.
רוצה אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל, ותפילתם באהבה תקבל, ותהי לרצון תמיד עבודת ישראל עמך.
ברוך אתה אדוני, שאותך לבדך, ביראה נעבוץ. And we continue, מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, לעולם ועד. צור חיינו מגן אישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך, על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך. ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך, שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, ולך נאה להודות. And together, supreme source of peace, grant true and lasting peace to your people Israel. For it is good in your sight that your people Israel and all peoples may be blessed at all times with your gift of peace. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. Activist.
You didn't have sound.
I didn't have sound. No.
No. The sound went away. You might have to read the poem again.
I'll read the poem again. God, give us dreams to match our nights, and give us sleep so that we may forget. Let us awake to hope and light, and the memory of stars that will return when it grows dark again. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is like a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams grow, life is a barren field frozen with snow. I'm grateful to Rabbi Hillel Athis Robles, our former rabbi, for introducing us to Langston Hughes. Hughes was an American poet, social activist, novelist, playwright, and columnist who lived from the beginning of the 20th century to 1967. Rabbi Hillel introduced the poetry of Langston Hughes into creative services that are the foundations for our annual René Cassin Human Rights Shabbat service and Crystal Nach services. Rabbi Hillel introduced much more to our community. During his time as a rabbi of NPLS, I was honored to represent liberal Judaism, together with Quakers in Britain and the Unitarians, in making representations to the Home Office that ultimately led to equal marriage for gay and lesbian couples. Rabbi Hillel and I were as one, that I would represent us. Human rights are human rights. They matter to us all. Equal marriage was not just Rabbi Hillel's issue because he was gay, but all of ours, because it is a human right. It is why you will hear me, as often and possibly more than Rabbi Leah, preaching about issues that some would define as women's issues. It is because they are matters of human rights. It is thanks to Rabbi Leah that I will consider in each sermon and study session that I lead. What are the voices that I have included? Are they, as traditional Judaism offers, male? Are they only white? Of today, are they only Ashkenazi? Are the voices exclusively of one sexuality? In other words, am I advancing traditionalism, or am I preaching as a liberal Jewish rabbi? As liberal Jews, do we advocate the status quo or the advancement, the progression of society and the world around us? As liberal Jews, are we prepared to lead rather than remain static and comfortable? As liberal Jews, are we on occasion happy, in fact delighted and honored to be uncomfortable? I believe that we are. That in our discomfort we create new comfort, a comfort for those who were uncomfortable before. We can do so because we can dream. We look to what has been and interpret it for the future, our future, and that of those who come after us, because we have some serious yichus, some serious heritage. We will hold fast to dreams and keep dreaming, for that is liberal Judaism, a liberal Judaism that creates a Judaism for the future. Our synagogue has been creating the future this year. Despite everything, we have been dreaming. If we had not done so, we would not have welcomed into our community so many new members together with those who are local to us. We would have not met and been enriched by people such as the poet, Sue Rose. I have the honor of learning Hebrew with Sue Rose every Thursday during this year. And thanks to her, I was introduced to her poetry. I think she would agree that she is a secular Jew. Her poetry is quite special. And in this special edition, which was published in 2020 by Cinnamon Press, Zion, but spelt S-C-I-O-N, she introduced into her work much of the nostalgia, the heritage, the yichus of her life that still informs her today. She reflects, I think, although she will tell us better, hopefully, when she does a presentation, I'm not stitching her up tonight, of her poetry in the future in our community. She uses her yichus, her heritage, and creates something fresh and new for the future. And so, with her permission, I read this poem tonight. Tipsy heads caught dipping, cocking out of frame, legs and arms splayed, cut off mid-swing by the lens as the beat leads the circle faster, faster. Weddings of the past in the mix of clarinets and lyrics, chairs above heads, broken glass under the chuppah, and you, sister, singing loud with me through smiles. Let us rejoice, hands joined in a chain of family and not spinning, kicking other hands, dropping until it's just you and me. Clasped hands thrown into the air, up and down and up, chopping through the song, eyes on each other, joy and pain. All our dead here at our backs, nodding, developing in the dark left by the lights orbing the room, their presence as we hug and hug at the end of the song, the wedding loud and us in this moment uncaptured by image but caught by each other, laughing and crying for all we have lost and gained, and all will lose and gain again and again. Hava narananaha, v'nis macha. Let us sing and be glad. Hava nagila chava, nagila chava, nagila v'nis macha. Chava, nagila chava, nagila chava, nagila v'nismecha. Chava neranana, chava neranana, chava neranana v'nismecha. Chava neranana, chava neranana, chava neranana v'nismecha.
And so we turn to our concluding prayers. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. אנחנו
עושי שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס סולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ.
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
As we worship before you, O God, we think of those who once shared with us the joys and burdens of life, and who are no longer in our midst. The sorrow of bereavement is softened by the bond of love which continues to unite us with our dear ones, and by our cherished memories of them, which we will always carry in our hearts. May all that was good in their lives remain with us as an influence for good. O God, grant consolation to those who are in sorrow, and light to those in darkness. Teach us at all times to put our trust in you and to praise your name. And on this Shabbat, we think of those whose yahrzeit falls at this time. If you are remembering a yahrzeit or a recent death, then do feel free to also post it in the comments. In our congregation, we think of Alan Cohen, the uncle of Louise Hirsch, mother of Rachel Rickeisen. Alice Austin, the mother of Philip Austin and Leanne Alexander. Barry Davis, the brother of Adele Rinches. Dr. Ernst Kluwer, the father of Susie Vanner. Dr. Marcus Pfeffer, the father of Peter Phillips. Elise Stone, the mother of Graham and Phil Stone and Sharon Goldstein. Gerald Y. Goldberg, Lord Mayor of Cork in 1977, father of David. And Antonia Breakspear, sister of Carla Goldberg. Helen Simon, the mother of Adele Larkin. Louis Morris, the father of Marsha Myers. Nasser Jalali, father of Navid Jalali. Susan Marmor, the sister of Paul. And we regret to announce the recent death of Sandra Glynn, the mother of Hazel Morgenstern, Lorraine Silver, and Lawrence. And the death of Jean Page, the mother of Sally Holland and sister of Anne Schack. Zichronam livracha. May their memory be a source of blessing to us always as we recite the words of Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, Ba'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, V'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'galau uzman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'ytaleh v'ytalal shemei d'kodeshav v'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran ba'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru, Amen.
May the Most High, source of perfect peace, grant peace to us, to all Israel, to all humanity. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated.
In a short moment, we're going to conclude with Yigdal, which we haven't done for a while, but we thought we'll conclude with Yigdal. For us, Yigdal was always more connected to the 8:30 service than the 6:30 services, and we therefore thought it would be fitting for this service because for at least the next 2 months, this is our last 8:30 Friday service. In January and February, because it's still very dark and because we're probably not going to be able to be back in the building as we're still dealing with the pandemic. We've decided that we're going to try having all of our Friday night services at 6:30. If you prefer watching at 8:30, just feel free to watch at 8:30. You'll just be 2 hours behind us, but we will feel your presence anyway. If you want to join the Kiddush, just join the Kiddush before you watch the service, and enjoy joining us for the Kiddush after the 6:30 service. So if you prefer to stick with 8:30, because that's what your routine is, then do feel free. But the live service will begin at 6:30 in January and February.
Before we hit Yigdal, just to say, it's been an incredible experience this past term. I call it a term because it feels a bit like a term. We've just signed off with our Hebrew classes and other groups that we've been learning with and studying with. Over this period of time, we've probably had 120 plus adults learning and studying with us. Normally, when we're in the sanctuary, when we're in the building, we normally have not so many.
Not so many. But some very high quality ones.
We very much hope that when we come back into the building, that we'll be able to maintain all of those people who have suddenly learnt and been learning with us. And we hope that you'll continue to do so into the future. This has been a period of time when everything has been what we would have learnt, Ruth and I, when we were growing up with the Mr. and Miss books, topsy-turvy. It was a mix topsy-turvy. And so we have found things being a bit different, and some of them, so much has been very difficult and so much incredibly good as well. And we want to take that forward. And so please do look out for example, people like the poet Sue Rose, who we would not have discovered if we weren't in this period of time within our lives. And look out for other people as well. I reckon, Rabbi Leah, we ought to do a service with all of the past rabbis we've had in the services. So
absolutely.
We can get Rabbi Hillel who's in New York.
Yeah, that would be fabulous.
Rabbi Marsha, who's in Boston.
There you go.
Together with Rabbi Michael Shah, because why would we exclude him as well? And Rabbi Rachel Benjamin, absolute Frank Dabadoo, and we can get the whole team, the dream team, back together. We can get it ready.
Multi-dream team, absolutely.
Tonight we've got those people who are stateside: Sherry and John Flitton, and
Ellie is of course
who's
with
joining
us
as well. And so it already feels very international. We're going east as well for us, which is with Joanne. In Israel, joining everybody together.
And in January and February, we're also, and going into March, we're going to make use of the fact that, take the best out of the fact that we're going to still have to do online learning. And we have 2 wonderful adult education programs lined up. Actually, we have way more than 2 adult education, but 2 big series. One series called Together and Apart, looking at Jewish peoplehood together with the congregation in Cape Town. So an opportunity to study together with a congregation in South Africa. And then not quite so far away, but probably too far away to be able to do it if we would all be doing it in person. Together with Kingston Liberal Synagogue, we'll be having a series on the treasures of the Cairo Geniza, together taught by myself and Rabbi Renee Fertzel, and that's going to start right at the end of March, at the beginning of March, sorry. So do look out for those. Davar should be arriving with you sometime after the bank holidays, probably. Maybe just before, depends on the post.
Yeah.
So all the information will be in that.
So come and join us. Ali is not Rabbi Ellie, it's Ellie Dankner, but we think of her as our Rav. Let us join together as we sing Yigdal.
Yigdal Elohim Chai,
V'yishtabach, Nimtzeit v'neder b'tzihuto, Echad ve'en yachid, כייחודו, נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו, אין לו תמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו, קדמון לכל דבר, אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית בראשיתו, הינו אדון עולם לכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתן לנו, אל שי סגולתו ותפארתו, לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד, נביא ומביט את תמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעם אוהל, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו, לא יחליף האל ולא ידעתו, לעולמים זולתו, צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו, גומל לאיש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לרשע רע כרישתו, ישפוך לקץ ימין על כל בשר יוכל, לפדות מחכה קץ ישועתו, חיה עולם נצח בתוכנו, ברוך הדעת שם תהילתו.
Hava Naranana Vanismacha. Let us sing and let us be glad as we celebrate this Shabbat together. Shabbat Shalom. And please join
Shabbat
us in a
Shalom.
few moments in our Zoom room that you can find in the holding screen right now when you look at the screen.
Absolutely. Shabbat Shalom. And Ellie, you're right, it is the Hartman program. So do join us for that. Shabbat Shalom and see you in our Zoom room.